actually conduct a self-audit about yourself and about the things that you did not do, and you realize that first of all you are your own stumbling block. Nobody's doing you. Hi guys, my name is Ifoma and welcome to my corner. Today I will explore on the topic of how to reinvent yourself, especially if you're a young adult and you're asking yourself like, what exactly am I supposed to do, and how do I make people understand that I have actually come of age, and how do I also make people see me the way I want to be seen. Reinvention doesn't necessarily mean that you are going to completely overhaul yourself. Maybe say you want to do like a body structure, or maybe you want to pack your things and move out from where you are, or maybe you want to change your career, in totality. While it's part of reinvention, that does not necessarily, that's not the bulk of reinvention. I've come to realize that reinvention is more of telling yourself that I need to be authentic with the things that are me, and recognizing that my authenticity might actually repel some things from your life, and that in some personal track record, or what people call goals, and also recognizing that there are values that you're not going to mess with. It's not going to be easy at the beginning of the stage, right? It's never going to be this easy, but when you see the result that you're actually getting from it, it's going to completely motivate you to even aim more higher. And then that's when you realize that there are things that are completely beneath you, and it's not that you're being quirky, right? You're not being quirky. It's just that when you are done in the process of reinventing yourself, there will be some things that are going to all of a sudden be beneath you, and it's not because you are trying to form or anything. For me, at least, reinvention actually started when I need to explore more about myself. I felt that my life was just too focused on a particular path, right? And while it's okay to be focused, I feel like there is more to oneself than being just monotonous in whichever way that you think that your life is going, right? And I think that what makes us a full-rounded human being is being able to look at our different areas and our different interests, and to say, okay, you know what, I'm going to explore it. And in the course of this my reinvention journey, right, I've also noticed that more than outward looking, growth and exploration is actually more inward. The process of reinvention is that it might get to the point where you change the way you dress, you might also change your physical outlook, right? But while those things are very great, I don't think that focusing on just how you look outwardly will take you for the long time. I think, remember, this is my own personal journey, right? For my own personal journey, I've realized that focusing more on what is in the inside will actually make you shine brighter on the outside. When you start the process of reinventing yourself, a lot of things will leave your life. It means that the energy that you give off to the universe would actually attract a certain type of things that you actually want for yourself, while the energy that you do not want would actually be repelled from your life. And it's not even you're doing, it's just the way the world works and the way the universe works, right? And reinvention cannot come if you have not done a self-audit. As somebody that works in audit capacity, I know that generally people do not like the idea of audit, because it comes with a lot of accountability, it comes with a lot of querying yourself and asking yourself, like, these things, the goals that I set out to do maybe for the beginning of the year, we're in July, right? And the goals that you set out to do in the beginning of the year, how far these goals, right? The things I set out to do for myself in the beginning of the year, how are they going, right? So, and those high level of accountability are some of the things that personally a lot of people, me inclusive, right, instead of me to actually do it, I keep putting it off and say, oh, I don't need to do this, I don't need to query myself, I don't need to. But one of the things I've actually realized is that when you actually conduct a self-audit about yourself and about the things that you did not do, and you realize that, first of all, you are your own stumbling block. Nobody's doing you. There's nobody in your village that is doing you. You are your own stumbling block. And that it's actually your own laziness, quote unquote, or all the things that you feel like are the stumbling blocks are just in your mind. They're not necessarily. Yes, there are challenges that would have to come, maybe financially, or maybe whatever type of challenges that you think that you're experiencing. But at the end of the day, right, when you did it, you see that, oh my God, I'm actually the one that is doing myself. At least for my own circumstances, that was one of the things that I actually realized, that the things that have been holding me back are actually myself, and I need to actually get up and do the things I want to do. And that's what self-audit does, right? It makes your conscience trip you into doing what you're supposed to do. When I come down personally, why did I decide to embark on this reinvention journey? Why do most people decide to go into reinventing themselves? At least for me, right? I felt that I was in this sort of hole where I'm just rolling over, doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. And then, while there are some results, some of those results are not significantly it's great, but they're not significantly what I want for myself. And I figured that, let's try something new, let's try something different. Let me go on a personal journey and say, this is what I want for myself. Change. One of the things I also wanted was change, right? Like I said earlier, if you were close to me, you know that I have like a very monotonous sort of life where it's work, school, church, work, school. That was just my triangle, if you put it, right? And I found that they are okay. It's okay. It's not bad. But life is full. There is a whole lot that you can take out from life, and unless you challenge yourself to explore the things that are even just unimaginable, be able to live like a fuller and a larger life. That's one of the things I've actually realized. And then another thing was that I went into like an existential crisis. I know that there have been 2 times that I went into this sort of existential crisis. One was when I finished my NYSC. If you don't know what NYSC is, actually it's youth service program that is being done in Nigeria, right? And I noticed that when I finished my NYSC, it was like the world just stopped. And most people who have done their NYSC all through your life used to have it like a pattern: wake up in the morning, go to school, Saturday, Sunday, you do whatever you're supposed to do, a schedule. Finish primary school, secondary school, university, NYSC, and then all of a sudden there is no schedule. It's now you figuring out what your schedule should be like. That's one of the first times that I went into this existential crisis. And then the second time was when I asked myself, like, okay, yes, every morning you wake up in the morning, you go to work, you go to church on Sundays, and then there has to be something that is larger than life. And while these things are good, there just has to be something that is more to this life. And I think that those were the 2 circumstances that made me say, okay, you know what, I need to go on this journey and say, the first thing you should actually ask yourself is that when people hear your name or when people talk about you, what is the first word you want them to think about when they think about you, right? Is it consistent? Is it intelligent? Is it bad bitch? Is it basic? Is it godlike? Is it Christianity? These are the things that you need to ask yourself, because it will help to align of goals that you're going to set for yourself. the thing you want people to think about when they think about you is boss babe. One of the things you have to do is that, first of all, that business that you're stalling, you need to start it. Another thing is that you need to be very shameless about advertising yourself in the process of your entrepreneurship journey. Another thing that you need to do is that you need to now maybe set up order out. Basically looking at what are the things that will actually make you like a boss babe. Value you want people to associate with you will be what will influence how you set your goal. All the things that I've spoken about is generally self-awareness and self-understanding of the things that I actually want out of life. XYZ are the things that I'm not doing, while XYZ are the things I'm doing. If you're actually very serious about it, first of all, a lot of things that you used to do, you still have to stop doing it. A lot of environment that you used to go to, you have to stop going there. A lot of circumstances or just a whole lot of things you wouldn't even see yourself doing them anymore. And then another thing is that then you start attracting a certain type of people to your life, right? And this is just you now understanding that you need to be self-aware to your environment and now saying to yourself, like, these things coming to me, do I necessarily want them? Do I understand how they impact my life? And what are the long-term values I want to derive from that? I had tabulated what I wanted people to think about when they think of me, and I knew that I had to change the way I wanted these things to reflect for me. I needed people around me to think that I was serious about getting my life together. I wanted people to think about the fact that he's focused career-wise. I wanted people to think about me in a certain dimension, and I needed to actually change these things. It's not even you're doing at some point. The truth is that by the time you realize the way you want people to view you, and by the time you realize the changes that you need to make, and by the time you start working on those changes that you need to make, you won't even have time for frivolities anymore. You won't have time. I mean, if the word you want people to associate with you is not frivolities, right? You won't have time for frivolities anymore. You would now realize that almost 24 hours is not even enough for the kind of things I want to do for myself. Be very honest with yourself, right? Because the truth is that the only person actually knowing you very well is yourself, and you can't lie to yourself. At least I do not lie to myself. What are those things that you need to do for yourself? And be shameless about it. See, if it's boss babe that is your thing, babe, right? If what you want to do is that you actually want to start a business, but you are afraid that people might think that you are hungry, babe, all of us are hungry. See, be shameless about promoting your business. All of us are very, very hungry. This Nigeria is not doing us. By the time you do it 1, 2, 3, 4 times, right? People will get used to you being the way you are, and they will move on to the next thing. And if you must know, right? Them even thinking about looking at you is traction for your business. Them even talking about it, speaking to each other and gossiping about it, if any, it's like a traction for your business. I mean, any publicity is a good publicity, and renew yourself in the way you actually want to see yourself. Another thing is that you can ask for support, right? I'm actually creating a support community, and I mean it's still in the pipelines. It hasn't been fully formed, but this support community will just be like a study support group where maybe I don't know, but the formalities is still in my head. Where maybe we could just come together maybe 3 times a week and just study. When I say study, you just be online on your video and just study. What I intend to do with that is just creating an accountability partner. I'm not saying you have to study what I'm studying. I'm not saying you have to study what every other person is studying. It's just us creating a track sheet, creating a Slack account, and then it will just be like a study support group. Basically, that's what it's going to be. Nothing fancy, nothing. It's just looking at your goals, having people that keep you on track on your video as an accountability game, and then study your way out. You don't need to wear makeup or anything. That's what I'm looking at it in my head, right? But basically, ask for support. Look at the community. What are the kind of things that you want for yourself, and what are the kind of community those things are available in, and then ask for support in those places. For instance, I know that studying is something that I find very, very challenging. While I do study, while I do read for my different professional exams, I know that studying alone, there are a lot of things that can come up in the process of studying. So, and I'm figuring that putting this online for 2 hours, 3 times a week, where everybody just comes together on their video and just study, right? If we're able to achieve this level of accountability, it will be good for me, it will be good for the other person, it will be good for everybody, and then we are good together. And so ask for support if you need support, and create community of like-minded people that would actually help you or help each other thrive in the way that you want to thrive, right? If the purpose of reinventing yourself is that maybe you want to actually change your body weight, obviously one of the things that you have to do is exercise and planning your diet. For me, yes. This is one place that I consistently fail. I start and I stop and I fail, and I start and I stop and I fail. But God knows that there is this zeal, and it's there. There are failures, but that's the process of reinvention, right? Because it's not going to be smooth sailing all the times. You're going to have times that you fail. You're going to have times that you don't feel like doing what you're supposed to do. But failing and not staying on the floor, or falling and not staying on the floor, is one of the ways that you know that you're serious about reinventing yourself. Because there are some times that you might creep into old habits, going about the things that you've told yourself that you do not want to do. But understanding that you failed does not mean that you need to lie down there. It's part of the processes of reinventing yourself, and that one makes you human. A lot of advantages I've noticed that I've gotten from reinventing myself, and one of the things is it actually gave me a sense of purpose, and making me see the world from a whole new lens. I noticed that that's one of the first things I noticed, that it gave me a sense of purpose. When I did a self-audit, understood that I actually want to explore a lot of sites that are inertia within me, right? I realized that okay, maybe I actually have a thing that I want to do. Yes. If you build up yourself, become disciplined. I don't know how to put it. There's this level of discipline that comes to you, because there are a lot of good things that come out from reinventing yourself. One is that if you become a boss babe, first of all, girl, you're gonna be making the money, right? If you decide to switch from one particular career to another career, for instance, you're going to up your earning power, right? There are a lot of good things that are going to come out. You're going to meet new friends. You're going to meet people who have the same ideas that interest you. You become more active to your surroundings, finding out the new things that you like and the things that you thought you loved, but honestly you were just liking them because you didn't have a chance. There's nothing new on the face of the earth. People have done this thing that you want to do, and people are still doing these things that you want to do. And reinventing yourself is more of a journey than a destination. Understanding that I'm on a journey, I'm going to fail, I'm going to win, I'm going to fall down and hit my leg on the stone. But understanding that this thing is a journey and it's a process, and that you need to actually relax and enjoy the things that come out from it. You should take your time and enjoy it instead of rushing to just finish. Let me give you an instance. Most people look at exercising and dieting as something like, oh, let me get to a particular weight and then I'll stop. If you stop and you fall to your old habit, what happens is that you bulk up those calories that you've lost and start from beginning again, right? But if you understand that it's a journey, that it's not ending next week, neither is it ending next year, it's not ending 2 years after, that this is you changing your lifestyle, this is you changing what you eat, this is you taking off a lot of excess food that you don't need from your body. This is you changing, being disciplined about the way you see your body. We're going to actually chill and relax and sort of not like relax that you are not going to do what you're supposed to do, more of relax and take it, enjoy the process. So I want us to see this process of reinventing ourselves as a process and a journey, not like it's a destination to get into where we want to be. Because one thing I've realized in this life is that even if you get to that place that you want to be, you will soon realize that while those places good, you would always aspire for more. Enjoy wherever stage you are, but always put in the effort to be where you want to be. And another thing is, I also want us to be aware it's not reinventing the wheel. You are just going to look at yourself and then adapt, looking at what information and looking at all the support around you and that is available, that you're going to adapt these circumstances to your life and then make it better. Until next time, guys, peace and love.